Okay, so we're done taking all the screws out. We're going to see how we're going to pull this radio out, and it should come out right out. Actually just fell out. And I'm just going to rest it right here, and I have access to the very back of that unit. So it looks like there's a wire here, and it's very well insulated so that it doesn't rattle or something. We're going to be doing something similar to the Simple Gateway box, so that when we install it, we won't get any rattles or anything in there. I did note that in the bottom down here, there is, I believe it's the OnStar unit that's down there, and that's where that is located. So for those of you that were wondering where the OnStar unit is, it appears to be that it's right down here. You can see those controls units. It's attached on there, and here's the cross member that everything else is installed into. Pretty damn big. Well, anyway, we'll be installing the Simple Gateway box. Actually, we'll be putting it together, then plugging it in. So once I get ready for that, we'll... Alright, so I routed all the cables. I actually started down here from the glove box. It's pretty much open, so when you close the box, you can actually see the glove box. It's down here. It's very well accessible from here, but there's no obstructions or anything. For now, I'm going to just put it in the glove box. Eventually, I may be routing it down the center console and placing it somewhere inside these, I don't know, inside this armrest. So for better accessing the unit. So for now, I'm just going to put it in the glove box. Looks pretty simple. So I've connected the iPod on port 1, and the auxiliary cable goes in port 2. The dip switch you leave alone, and the USB, you actually do nothing with it. So now you remove the sticker, you peel that back, and you see the connector for the harness that will be connecting to the radio. So we plug that in. Let's see, there's only one way you can do this. You can't mess it up, and very hard to do with one hand. Connector, plug it in, and that's it. Ready to go. So now you'll be connecting the other end to the radio, and then from the radio, the harness that comes from the factory cables goes into the gray ones, and you should be set after that. I'm just throwing it back there. I'm not going to install it there. I'm not sure where I'm going to install it right now, so I'm just getting it out of the way so that I can move around the back of the radio and making these connections. So my battery's still off, so I can come in here and disconnect. Well, that's what happens. Disconnect the battery. Alright, disconnect the radio. That's one. That's two. Make sure the camera's still rolling. Yep. Alright, so make the connections. I'm going to connect these first. And from the harness to connect here, there's only one way you can do this, so you can't screw it up. There you go. Make sure you hear that click. Make sure you connect it correctly. And then go up to the back of the radio and plug these other in. 1, 2, and that's it. This thing's ready to roll. So from here, install the unit back in here. You put all of your connectors back. We'll be doing that in a minute and seeing how that works. So I'll be possibly, there's a good thing, I'll tell you. I only have one hand, so. Alright, so possibly be placing this right here. There's a good space. There's a good amount of space right there. I'll be encasing this with some foam so it doesn't rattle around in there. There's a lot of metal, so if you leave it alone, I'm expecting it to rattle. So I'll be putting this, the Simple Gateway, putting some foam on it, and then sticking it right in there, right next to the cross member. So that's what I'll be doing next, and we'll. That's it. So I put the Simple Gateway back here. Put some foam on it. So now all I have to do is put the radio back, and there is a small plastic knob here. I'm not sure what you call it, but it's this plastic piece needs to go into this hole that supports the back of the radio. And just a note that you have to put it back in there before, you can't just throw it back in there. I don't think you can just throw it in there. It has to go in there. So, and then we'll be wiring the cable back up. Okay, so I'm back. I had to take care of kid stuff. So, we're putting the unit back, putting the radio back. Make sure again the cables are out of the way. You're not going to pinch anything, so that you don't have any problems later on. And there's a lot of cables that get in the way now. So you just have to get it back in there, get it in that hole. And that's what she said. Yeah, right. I know. So you're laughing. Okay, so once you get it in there, you have to hold it there. It's going to fall out. Alright, and you're going to need at least to put one screw in here just to hold it. Make sure nothing falls out. You don't want to break anything. And you have your unit on there. So once you have it, alright, let's put 2 screws on there. Yeah, hold it in place. And then put your connections back. And then finally put the battery back in there. Actually, I'll plug the battery back in and test the unit before actually putting the whole thing back together. Make sure that it does work. And that's what we're going to be doing next. So, be ready. Right, when you plug it in, back in, it does state in the instructions you must wait at least a minute for it to initialize all the new module. We are actually going to wait 2 minutes before we can actually access this, just because that's the way I am. If you can wait a whole minute, it says, I think instructions come in and say you have to wait a couple of seconds. How many seconds is it saying? Do not touch radio for 3 minutes. Okay, so we'll go. I'll come back after about 5 minutes, and we'll see what the new module looks like. So, not sure where I read that you can have to wait a minute. Oh yeah, I know where. Right here, this little sticker. And this little sticker says allow up to 1 minute for initialization. That's the sticker that's on the unit. But if you read in the installation's quick start guide, attention installer, it states here that you must wait for 3 minutes. So Give yourself plenty of time. Let it sit there for a little bit. I'm just giving it, 4 to 5 minutes, and be on the safe side. So we'll be back in 5 minutes.